All right, let's dive right in. We're going to explore an idea today that, well, it sounds almost absurd in our world, doesn't it? The idea that the most radical thing you can do is absolutely nothing, to just sit still. In a world that is obsessed with motion, we're going to take a look at what actually happens when you just stop.
I mean, this is the pressure we're all under, right? Our whole culture has basically wired us to believe that constant motion is a virtue. You know the feeling. The full inbox, the endless scrolling feed, the calendar packed from morning till night. That's how we prove we exist. And stillness? Well, that just feels like giving up. It feels like failure, like you're falling behind everyone else.
But let's reframe what radical actually means here. Because we're not talking about something edgy or, rebellious. The word itself actually comes from the Latin radix, which means root. So a radical act is really just one that gets back to the root of our experience, Something that gets underneath all that surface noise.
And look, I want to be really clear about something. This is not a how-to guide, okay? We're not giving you instructions on how to achieve some kind of special Zen state. It's more like a description of what's actually happening when you stop trying to do anything and just be. We're just noticing what's already here.
Okay, so where do we even start with this? Well, we start with the most obvious and yet probably the most overlooked part of our entire experience, the body. And this is a really fundamental shift in perspective. So many philosophies and traditions treat the body like it's an obstacle, right? Like it's this noisy distraction you have to overcome to get to the real work. But the idea here is to flip that completely on its head. The body isn't in the way. It is the way. It's the only door we have to being present in our own lives. So, let's try something. Just for a second, I want you to think about a relationship that you've been in your entire life, but have probably never, ever paid any attention to. What happens when you just notice the simple constant fact of gravity? No, really think about it. Through every single change in your life, every gain, every loss, every high, every low, that downward pull has been constant. It's been perfectly faithful. It's like a constant mutual acknowledgement. The earth knows exactly what you weigh, and it meets that weight with perfect support, always. It might just be the most reliable relationship you'll ever have. And when you really let yourself feel that, when you stop fighting it and just let your weight be your weight, you land on this incredibly profound but simple fact. You're not just sitting here, you are being held, unconditionally. All right, so from that solid ground of the body, let's turn our attention inward. Let's go to the mind. And again, the goal isn't to control it or quiet it down. Nope, we're just going to watch. So ask yourself this question. What does your mind do when you stop giving it a job? When there's no problem to solve, no list to make, no email to write, what happens? You'll notice pretty quickly it doesn't just go silent. It has a life of its own. It just keeps generating this constant stream of thoughts and images and memories all by itself. Probably the best way to picture this is to think of it like a river. That endless stream of mental stuff, plans, worries, little snippets of songs, random images, all of that, that's the river. It's just constantly flowing, constantly changing. Okay, so if all your thoughts are the river, then who are you in this picture? Well, you are the bank. You are the steady presence on the side that allows the river to flow without you getting swept away in it. And that right there, that is the whole shift. You stop identifying with the water and start identifying as the bank that's watching it go by. And the discovery you make here it's just profound. You know that one thought that feels so urgent? The one that feels so important you think you have to follow it down the rabbit hole? Well, when you just watch it, without grabbing onto it, it just passes. It was just a visitor, and like all visitors, eventually it leaves. All right, let's go a layer deeper, shall we? We've gone from the mind's river, and now we're moving to the body's emotional weather. And the whole idea here is to approach feelings not as problems we need to solve, but just as natural events that we can feel. Now, this is a really crucial point. We tend to think of our emotions as happening in our heads, right? As mental things, but they're fundamentally physical. Anxiety isn't some abstract concept. It's that tightness in your chest. Sadness is a physical heaviness. Joy can be a warmth that spreads through you. To really feel your emotions, you've got to find out where they live in your body. So if we start to see emotions this way, as physical weather patterns, another metaphor becomes super useful. Think about all those churning, changing, sometimes really stormy feelings that pass through you. What are they? Well, they're just the waves on the surface of the ocean.
Because here's the thing, you are not the waves. You are the vast, quiet, unshakable depth of the ocean underneath. The storms can rage on the surface all they want, but the depth remains undisturbed. It can hold the entire storm without becoming the storm.
And this brings us to a state called equanimity. It's so important to understand this isn't about not caring. It is not cold detachment. It's actually the opposite. It's having the strength of the ocean's depth, the capacity to feel everything, the joy, the grief, the fear, to feel it all fully, without getting completely capsized by any one of those waves.
So, we've felt into the body, we've watched the mind's river, we've experienced the emotional weather. What does it all add up to? Well, it leads us to a really simple but profound invitation. An invitation to do absolutely nothing.
And that's really the only promise any of this makes. You have no idea what you're going to find inside. It's going to be uniquely yours. But that inner space, that quiet room of your own being, it's worth entering. It's worth a visit.
There's no secret technique here. You don't need special permission from anyone. The door is your body. The only practice is to just notice what's happening. So, the only real question left is the one right here. It's a personal invitation, just for you, to sit down, to stop, and to simply see what's there. So, will you begin?